we're all becoming CEOs. Yes, we don't have the pay grade of a CEO. I wish we all had like a lot of money. But we're all becoming CEOs. Why? Because I remember when one of my first jobs, not my first jobs because that would be too much, but maybe my third job, I had 3 secretaries, right? And I remember the first day she comes in, my main secretary, and she has this book, and she says, "Should we do the agenda?" And I look at her and say, "No, there's Outlook, there's a calendar, and we can share stuff." I had to teach her how to do it. But that's the point. Nowadays, you can do that all yourself. You don't need someone to write the... I even had someone I could actually say the letters and the emails I wanted, and she would type them. We don't need to do that anymore. And in that sense, CEOs, that was their life. They had people working for them at all times to deliver every single thing they needed. We have this in our pocket that does that for us. And in that sense, we are becoming all CEOs. We have a feeling of mastery on our lives that nobody else has had before. And again, that spans across generations. It's not only the millennials, or not only the Gen, by the way, it's always stupid because, there's Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, and then you're like, what the hell is going to go? We're running out of letters, so I don't know what we're going to call the next generation. Anyway, so this perception of speed is something that CEOs were always used to. They always got what they wanted when they wanted. We're all getting there. We all can get everything on demand. You know all the services. I know that some services might not exist in all countries. I'm very lucky to be in London, where probably is one of the cities where you have most of the services that work at all times. But this is something that's it's spreading. We see that happening more and more in all over the cities in the world. The other thing is the perception of the possible. A CEO could do anything. If a CEO wanted to do a vacation in a loft in New York, he could do it. And that was restricted to us. We couldn't get it, because he didn't have the access, and we might not have had the money to actually pay for it. So now the money is still obviously an issue, because sometimes it's expensive, but of course with stuff like Airbnb, you can do it. It's attainable. Again, you can do it, you're becoming a CEO. The perception of the possible is actually there. Everything becomes accessible. But the other one is the perception of control, the perception of mastery. I put on purpose this video of this Airbus, their new flying drone that they're testing. I mean, of course, I don't know if that's ever going to actually fly, but that's the thing. If a CEO wanted to have his own chauffeur, if a CEO wanted to have his own plane, if a CEO wanted to have, he could have it at any point. We are getting to a point where we can also do it ourselves. We have control over our lives. At least more than we used to, more than anyone before ever had. We can have it. And like I said with the example of the Okada Manila, everything is personal. It feels like, of course it's data, and of course it's not an actual, always people caring about you, but it feels like that the service is catered for you. When you go and you meet someone who's basically handing you out the keys for his or her Airbnb, obviously, it feels like you have a personal relationship. That's exactly what CEOs were always used to. They could get stuff super personalized. We are getting all VIPs and all CEOs. But the one thing that is also very important about this feeling of being a CEO, what is a CEO? It's this: expertise, knowledge, and network. A CEO was someone who had expertise, had knowledge, and has obviously a network, because he knows people, or she knows people. Sadly, more often than not, it's a he. Well, these are the 3 things that we can now build ourselves as well. It's not as easy, it's not always feasible, but we can. We can build our own expertise, we can learn and teach ourselves stuff using tools that exist online, and the networks, we're all freaking Facebook. Obviously, we can have a network if we want to, if we're smart enough. So again, these same tools that were only for few people are now being given to everyone. Expertise, knowledge, network, it opens the futures, every types of futures for a lot of people.